There is a Doors badge so rare that only one person has ever obtained it. You heard me right, a badge rarer than the elusive QA tester achievement, which is only awarded to game testers. A badge so rare that there has only ever been one recorded case of its existence. In fact, the person who managed to obtain it isn't even a developer. They're just a normal player like you and me. Yet through an incredibly rare circumstance, they managed to obtain hands down the rarest thing in the entire game. This badge is so rare that it shouldn't even be possible to obtain. Yet this player defied all odds and managed to get it, being the sole owner of this one-of-a-kind achievement. In this video, I'll be detailing to all of you what exactly this incredibly rare badge is, why it's impossible to obtain normally, and the story behind how one player managed to accomplish this feat. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so as you all probably know, the recent April Fool's update introduced the Hard Stuck badge, an achievement which I'm sure all of you are familiar with by now. This badge is obtained by gaining a total of 5,000 final points in the new ranked game mode, which is rather easy to do. Now, something interesting about the Hard Stuck achievement is that it actually has variations. Depending on what rank you are in the ranked game mode, the badge will actually change its appearance to match that rank's appearance. In total, there are 5 ranks which can be obtained in ranked mode, those being Starter, Combatant, Soldier, Warrior, and finally Bloxer. Each of these ranks are progressively harder to obtain than the previous one, meaning unlocking each badge variation continuously gets more difficult. Now, the final rank you can obtain in ranked mode is Bloxer, so you'd think its corresponding badge variation would be the hardest to obtain, but that actually isn't the case. You see, although most players believe that Starter, Combatant, Soldier, Warrior, and Bloxer are the only ranks that can be obtained, there is actually another one. Every player actually starts off with the Noob rank, and it's only after they gain 5,000 final points in the ranked game mode that they achieve the Hard Stuck badge in the Starter rank. This Noob rank is completely useless and doesn't actually have any importance, but its existence means that in total there are 6 ranks, with the Noob rank being the very first one. However, unlike all the other ranks, it doesn't have a normal badge variation that corresponds to it. This is because the Hard Stuck badge, which is required to actually display the Noob rank on your character, is obtained once you reach the Starter rank. So once you get the badge, you've already moved on from the Noob rank. So, with this in mind, I set out to see if there was any way I could cheese my way into somehow obtaining Noob rank so I could display it with the Hard Stuck badge. My first thought was to devolve through the ranking system to get back to the Noob rank whilst having the Hard Stuck badge. As you may know, in order to rank up in the ranked game mode, you need to amass final points by playing through the game. However, due to a very evil match tax that appears at the end of each round, you can actually get negative final points, and when this occurs you will actually lose progress to ranking up, and instead you will rank down. So, if we got the Starter rank and the Hard Stuck badge by extension, then rank down with negative final points back to the Noob rank, we could display the Noob rank with the badge theoretically. This sounds pretty simple, and I thought it was going to be easy, but after testing it I ran into a pretty massive roadblock. Once you hit 0 final points at the Starter rank, that's it. You physically cannot go lower back into the Noob rank once you get the Hard Stuck badge, meaning that displaying the Noob rank with this achievement is straight up impossible. Even the developers said it was impossible. Now, this is where I'd end this video off, until I saw this. Dear viewers, what you are witnessing right now is the rarest Doors badge in the entire game's existence, with the player you see on the screen being the only person known to actually have it. This person, who goes by the name of Deadlock, somehow managed to defy all odds and obtain the Noob rank even after having the Hard Stuck badge. But as I had just said, that's physically impossible to do. So, how did they get this achievement? Well, I actually reached out to them and fortunately they responded. They actually explained how this happened to them, and it honestly shocks me, as the chances of this occurring must be at least 1 to a million or something like that. Essentially, Deadlock explained to me that whilst they were playing through the ranked mode, they encountered an incredibly rare bug where all their rank progress was reset, meaning they were put back at the noob rank, even after having the hard stuck badge. At least to my knowledge, this is the only time I've ever heard of a bug like this existing in the game. Yet somehow against all the odds, Deadlock managed to encounter it, and as a result they obtained the badge normally impossible to ever witness. Now, Deadlock actually allowed me to record some footage of them with their badge, and from this we can actually learn a lot about it. This achievement's name is Hardstuck Noob, and its icon is the Noob Ranks icon, which is just a normal yellow Roblox head. Now, although the badge itself is relatively similar to the other Hardstuck achievement variations, what I find the most interesting is that something like this actually exists. The developers specifically made it impossible to ever obtain the Noob Hardstuck badge, which makes sense as the rank is just meant as a default one given to every player before they make any progress in the ranked mode. Yet it somehow exists in the code and can be used in-game if players somehow manage to get it. Now, at the end of the day, this is just a rather stupid cosmetic item indoors, yet the fact that it was meant to be impossible to obtain, however a 1 in a million bug flipped the script, is truly fascinating. So, now that we have gone over everything with this badge, let's talk about you getting it. Yeah, that's right, and although only a single person in the entire game has the Hardstuck Noob achievement, you can still have a chance of obtaining it as well. As Deadlock described, they managed to get the badge through a completely random bug, and given its rarity, I highly doubt it was reported or patched. This means that if you're lucky enough to have your progress wiped, which is such a weird statement to say, you too can have this incredibly rare achievement. However, given how nobody else has gotten it besides Deadlock, I'm going to assume that this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment type of deal, and it likely would never be recreated. Still, there's always a small chance that this could happen to you. However, given how the Hardstuck badge as well as the rank progression system are limited to the April Fool's event, at the end of the month this bug will permanently be removed and by extension the Hardstuck Noob badge. So, to summarize, the rarest badge in all of Doors is the Hardstuck Noob achievement, which is impossible to obtain normally in the game. However, Deadlock, through sheer luck, managed to get it through an extremely rare bug. Additionally, on top of all of that, this badge is limited to only being obtainable for this month only, meaning the time frame for others to encounter the progress reset bug is very slim. Now, before I end off this video, I'd like to give a big personal thanks to Deadlock for somehow managing to accomplish this feat and allowing me to document it. You rock, dude. Anyways, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of this achievement, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy.